Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, May 13th. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly Swing Trade Ideas video where we bring you some of the names from our watch list, stocks that are holding up well, showing some relative strength, and ideally are not yet too extended in their moves. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we got four names we're looking at today. We get a little bit of a tree shake out there in the market. We saw some selling pick up into the close yesterday. We're seeing continuation selling today, as at least as the time I am recording this. So for the first time, we're getting a little more upsprout and volatility for the first time in the past few weeks. We covered all the action in our midweek video yesterday. So if you want to hear some of our thoughts on the broad market, where we are and where we might be going, I would suggest taking a look at yesterday's video. In this video, we're going to focus just on some technical trade setups here. And the first name we're going to look at is a fairly well-known popular name out there. It's ServiceNow, NOW, and this one comes from IBD's watch list. And I'm highlighting this one because of certainly the recent relative strength here. There's no there's no doubt that this has been one of the strongest stocks out there. We recently broke out to new all-time highs in NOW, and right now it's in pullback mode, kind of coming back to where it topped out from in early February of 2020. So I like looking at these names, especially these leading stocks, as they start to pull back a little bit, and you can see we're coming back to this zone. I would even frankly like a deeper pullback into the maybe mid 330s or so to set up some type of higher low. But NOW, a very strong stock in this type of environment that I'd love to be able to own at a reasonable price. And one comment I do want to make here is this is certainly an extended name at this point, and some people may think, well, this is quite the chase right now. This is a name that we've been looking at for some time. So in our trade ideas video back on the 15th of April, so as it was consolidating in here, this was a swing trade idea in this same exact video that we put out here is as it based sideways here after kind of consolidating neatly throughout late March and early April. We highlighted it here for a momentum move, breakout move back up to retest those highs. That certainly did take place a lot faster and swifter than I certainly would have imagined, but we did get that breakout move to all-time highs. So you had a chance to perhaps get in here if you've been watching the videos. If you like that setup and that fit your strategy, then there was certainly an earlier opportunity. It is now broken out to new highs, so if you don't have it and you still like the stock, we're kind of looking at the next reasonable spot to get involved in this. And I think as it starts to pull back here, potentially develops a higher low, it's something to pay attention to. So NOW, like it, comes from IBD's watch list, and something to pay attention to. We talked about AMD last week, so I'm going to just throw this in here as still a name that I really like right now in the market. It's probably one of my top setups that I enjoy here. Just not too extended. It's certainly a market leader. There's some good structure to trade against, trying to put in this higher low here. So I like it. We talked about it last week. Not much has changed, but still like it there, and that comes from IBD's watch list and our own watch list as well. The next trade setup is BILI. So this is a more of an under the radar name, and this comes from our watch list. And in fact, this our watch list, so the TR150 watch list, we recently just re-updated some of the back end, some of the user experience, and just access to our list. So the Trade Risk 150 will at most have 150 stocks on it, and we do a different spin on the criteria that we look for. So there's a video, a link up in the top right now. There's a link there to take a look at how we curate our trade ideas and our watch list on a week-to-week basis. But it's a little bit different. It's still growth stocks, it's still strong stocks, but we look at sequence of returns and some technical criteria that I don't see often looked at. So take a look at that. But BILI, this is one of the names, at least in my eyes here, that is more of an under the radar name that is on that watch list. So this gives you a taste that there's not just the mainstream names on it. But what I like here is, you know, we have the clear leading stock here. And again, it is a little extended in the short term. So what I would like to see, in fact, is just some digestion here at highs. So in fact, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a rejection, kind of a pause, and some basing action in the upper 20s, and then eventually kind of take that breakout move and start running higher. So BILI, I'd let this cool off just a little bit here. I like the fact that it's challenging these all-time highs, but after a little consolidation, be a little more confident in something like this. Now, the next two names I want to talk about, both just major ETFs, frankly. So the SMH, I just want to talk about this from a pullback standpoint. Again, semiconductors here have been very strong. One of the strongest groups there, leading us out of you know, kind of the turmoil from early February and March. You could look at SOXX. There's a few different semiconductors ETFs, but basically this group of stocks here, what I'd like to see is just a pullback a little bit further. We'll go to the SMH because I think most people look at this one, but I'd like to see a little bit more of a sell-off into the lower 120s. That to me would be a decent spot to start to get interested in this ETF, or maybe it's some of the individual components outright. So we looked at AMD earlier, so something like this that lives in this ETF. But SMH in the lower 120s, a little bit more of a pullback, a few more days of selling. I think that would be a pretty interesting opportunity to potentially get back involved in this ETF. Similar comments here with IBB. So IBB biotech ETF. We talked about this. Look at this on a monthly chart as it starts to now break out of a multi-year consolidation pattern, breaking out to new highs. It's pulling back right now in the immediate term, and that's sort of the trade idea is very similar to SMH. If we could start to get this, if we could get a pullback into the lower 120s, I think SMH was 120s too. Yeah, so look at that. IBB and SMH both into the lower 120s. I think that is an interesting spot to perhaps nibble on them, you know, get involved on the long side if these are sectors that you like after a little bit more kind of tree shaking on the on some of these week longs up here. I think those are both interesting ideas. Last but not least, one name on the short side, one ETF on the short side, and we alluded to this if you watched yesterday's market recap video. We did throw this in here at the end, the XLE. We talked about it yesterday as a short opportunity. You can see we're getting the breakdown and follow through lower right here for kind of obvious technical reasons. This has been basically one of the most beaten up areas in the market. Certainly, there's lots of value guys that might be looking at this sector, saying that there's you know, there's opportunity here as some of these stocks trade at decade plus low valuations. That may be the case, but for now, at least the market is still penalizing this group of stocks. They enjoyed certainly a very strong run up off of the lows, 70% to be exact, from the lows to highs. But as these start to break down in bearish trend formation, I think you have to be cautious, or again, aggressive on the short side if you want to be looking for this to roll over. Again, I don't necessarily wouldn't be making the claim to say that it has to come back to these lows. But even, you know, getting a move down into the lower to mid 30s would still be a pretty good trade there on the short side. Of course, now with 2 days of selling, it's already unwound a little bit. So again, just be a little cautious if you're chasing this now on the short side. But you know, time frame matters, and I'll let you guys sort of figure out sort of the objectives there that you're looking for. But XLE, nice weak technical breakdown there on the short side. So that's what I got for this week. Every Wednesday we do trade idea videos just like this. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us at The Trade Risk, and go ahead and check out that TR150 watch list there to get the full watch list and names that we are monitoring and trading on a week-to-week basis. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next video update.